Attention please. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Welcome.
Ahoy! It's Dave Landau, and you're watching Andy Smith, the coolest comic book creator around. Just ask his mom. I have. All hail Comicsgate! Bam! Bam! Bam!
Shut up and sit down.
Well, hello, everybody. It is Friday afternoon. I hope it's nice where you are. The sun is out. The snow is gone. I'm happy about that. The week is over for, well, probably most people. I'll be doing some work tomorrow morning. But there you go. Man, I don't know what is up with my voice. I feel fine. So I don't think I'm getting sick, but right? I'm sounding hoarse. I don't know. Maybe it's because I'm up here all day by myself, lonely drawing, and I'm not used to talking. So after 7 hours or so of silence and I start talking, I don't know, but I guess we'll see how it progresses. Yeah, so unboxing, a friend sent me something in a box. What's in the box? What's in the box? Somebody said in the chat that I'm worried that Dennis might be in the box. I mean, not his head, because this is rather thin. Could be something else, though, that you could cut off that I squished. But no, why would... I'm not sending myself something, guys. This was sent to me. And, oh, Dennis's hair. God, if only I could cut that crap off his head. So let's bring on the person that sent me the box, and that is Sequential Treasures. Hello.
Hey, howdy ho.
Hey, you know, I didn't even ask. I can call you by your actual name, right?
James, yeah.
Yeah, okay. James, Sequential Treasures is here. I did link in the description to his YouTube channel. He also has a great comic art fans that is just, holy crap, talk about a collection. Wow. So yeah. So
it's not that impressive, Andy. It's not as impressive as some other people's. Mine's not that impressive.
Well, at least going by the 3 columns of names. I mean, every time I look at it, I see a different name. I'm like, oh, I got to click on that. Look at that. Chris Warren drew some Doctor Strange. I never knew that. So the things you learn.
Yes.
Art to Bear, what do you have from Art? Oh, an actual page he drew from Time Masters.
Yes.
So
pencils by Art to Bear. No inks, just pencils.
Yeah, that's cool. So yeah, Bud Root, my pal Bud. Nice. Oh, Dick Dillon, hold on.
Uh-oh.
Oh, World's Finest by Dick. Oh, and Joe Giella. I love the way Joe inked him.
Yes, me too. That's why.
Him and oh, it's a nice page. I will say I liked who was it? His longest running inker when he was doing Justice League was Frank McLaughlin, right?
Yeah, I think it was McLaughlin was the longest running inker.
I tell you what, though, the few issues that Dick Giordano inked over him. Oh,
yeah, the 4 people who inked Dylan the most were Julia, McLaughlin, Tex Blaisdell, and Dick Giordano. Those are the 4 guys who inked him more than anybody else.
Really? I didn't know Tex. What did Tex ink them on? It wasn't Justice League.
Yes, Justice. My wife owns a page of Justice League from issue 126, which was inked by Tex.
Oh, no shit.
Yes.
See, I'll have to go buy that issue just because, you know, I knew Tex from the Kubert School. And, you know, I mean, like, he, no disrespect, big guy. He's been gone for some years now. But for the time period, he was fine. But there were other inkers that were better. Like, he ain't Kurt Swan.
Yeah.
Obviously, you know, other get Murphy Anderson, you know, Bob Oxener and stuff did, you know, much better. But, you know, I like Tex. And dude, this is a really nice Dick Dillon. I'll save it after I do.
Well, maybe we should share some of these so people can see them.
No, I might, but I want to do this first.
Yes.
I've got about 45 minutes. So,
Yes,
so we're going to open the box.
Right, we got to get to that important part right now, that package. That's right.
That's right. I'm not going to cut myself. I don't know if I can even show that on screen, but I just did. So, and this is, you know, this was difficult because I got this. What day did I get this? Oh, I think I got it when it said on Monday.
Tuesday.
So I've had it since Monday, and I'm not good about not opening stuff. So I kind of had to put it out of sight, out of mind. So I can't see it. I don't think about it. That is I mean, I'll say, if you got me my giant size X-Men #1, wow. That would
sorry,
be.
Do you think I'm a 2%er, Andy? Come on.
It would be the J&A show. Dennis would be out. I'd be like, damn, Dennis didn't get me giant size X-Men. Now I know it's probably an Action Comics, you know, #1 or, you know. Oh, you did a good job with this. Oh, here we go.
Well, having been a former comic art rep selling art, I've got a lot of experience with how to package things so that they don't get easily damaged.
Yeah, no, this is good. Is this a regular Gemini mailer or is this an upgrade one? This looks bigger than my Geminis.
I think it might be a slightly larger one, yeah.
Okay. Get that over there. Got the 2 pieces. Throw those. Oh! Yep, I remember talking about this, obviously, on our Sal Buscema stream.
Yep.
So there's no reflection from the bag. I'll take it out. It's a nice shape too. So New Mutants 54, and this was a book that when Dennis and I did our Sal Buscema stream a couple of weeks ago, I had no idea about, and it is drawn by our pal Sal Buscema, but it's inked by Terry Austin, which, like I said on the live stream, if you guys missed it, we were reflecting on Sal's, you know, work in the industry because he passed away a week and a half ago, 2 weeks ago. And after, you know, basically being in the business for 35 years, collecting comics since, you know, for what's it now, 44 years, I never knew about this issue, and it was Sal inked by the great Terry Austin. So that is cool. And a Mike Mignola cover inked by Austin. I mean, that's freaking, thank you. That's cool.
I saw you didn't have it, and you said, I'm going to have to try to get that. And I can get that. That's not that hard. And I went to a local shop I got here that just opened up last year. In fact, opened up last April. And,
cool.
And the guy there, it's called Get Comics, and you know, they got a Facebook page, and you know, so if people want to check them out, they can go there and check it out. And like, he's got like tons of stuff. I mean, it's just comics and toys. That's all it's in there.
Oh, nice.
No Funko Pops, no movies, no video games, no Magic the Gathering cards, none of that other stuff. No. It's comics and toys based on comic characters. That's all.
You want to know what's cool is, like, I'm just going to enlarge my section of the screen real quick so I can show this better. I got to remember how to do it. I think it's this one. Nope. This one. Nope. All right. There we go. Dude, look at these pages. Look at, especially, I'll point to it. The panel with Sam, and I guess that's Magic right there.
Yep.
That looks really Art Adamsy.
It does.
It's still Sal. Like, I can tell it's Sal. But because of Terry's ink line, it has a real art feel. And, I've always said, you take somebody who, let's say, isn't as popular as, let's get it back to this, as, current artists, but they're still popular with us. And it really just comes down to inking. It so does. And this book proves it. Like, Sal, when he inked himself, I loved it. I thought it was just fantastic. But, when Joe Rubinstein inked him, it just looked so good. Klaus Janson, just through the moon.
One of my personal favorites on Sal is Jerry Talahawk. I love his stuff.
Yeah. And as a kid, I didn't hate it, but I didn't love it. But once I was going to the Kubert school and stuff and learning more, I love it now. Like, I can't get enough of Jerry's or Gary. How do you say it, Jerry or Gary?
Jerry,
yeah. I can't get enough of Jerry Talahawk's inks on Sal. I think it's just fantastic.
Well, it's funny. That's where I came in. When I first got into comics, seriously, I didn't go to a shop or spinner racks. There was a kid in school who brought stuff to trade with other kids, and I got a comic from somebody, by accident, because they had gotten one they didn't want. They're like, "Here, do you want this?" And I took it home and read it. I'm like, "This is awesome. I got to get some more." So I went into school the next day, found the kid, and I said, "Hey, do you have any of those trading comics?" And he's like, "Yeah, I got some stuff to trade. Why? You want to trade me some?" I go, "No." And I dug in my pocket and I pulled out my couple dollars of lunch money. I said, "But can I buy some from you?" And he was like totally down with it. And one of the books I got from him as a back issue, Incredible Hulk 309, Sal's last issue of his 10-year run, inked by Jerry. And it's like, so like from right there was like, that was my first exposure to Sal's work, with Jerry inking him. And so I've always loved it.
So 309 is his last one.
Yes, that was his last issue.
Was that like the last of that? Was like, was that like the last issue of that story arc? It wasn't.
Crossroads lasted until issue 313. That was the final issue of the Crossroads, and then the Hulk was brought back to Earth.
Wow, so Sal didn't even finish that story arc. Holy crap!
No, that got finished by Mignola.
Oh yeah.
And then what happened? And then what happened is after the Hulk returns to Earth, Byrne was leaving Alpha Flight, and so then Mignola went over to Alpha Flight, and Byrne went over to the Hulk.
Right. 314.
Yep.
Yeah. So like, I was looking at some Sal stuff. I've got that Tomorrow's book about Sal Buscema, and I'd love to see somebody just for fun. Now, obviously, I'd love to see like Scott Williams ink something over Sal, or Danny Mickey, or Mark Farmer. I mean, Mark Farmer would basically be like Joe Sennett inking Sal. Yeah. But to go back, and this goes back like probably 10, 12 years, Ron Friends, who I love Ron's stuff ever since I was a kid. And he did an issue of, I think it was an issue of Guy Gardner for DC. And, Emerald Knights. I can't remember the exact name, but it starred Guy Gardner. And Batman was in it. But he didn't have, like, Brett Breeden didn't ink it. And I love Brett's work over Ron. It was John Dell. And you look at what John did over Ron, and you could still tell it was Ron, but it was just pumped up to this other level. And I'm like, this is what I'm talking about. Instead of editors looking at guys going, oh, their stuff's too old looking or whatever, I don't know. Maybe try pairing them up with a more, modern day inker. And if that's what it takes, I don't have a problem if Ron and Brett did something today. Yeah. But, if that's what it takes, then, that's what it takes.
Well, my whole thing with Friends is I've always thought that Breeding was the best inker on his stuff.
Oh yeah,
Their Thor run is classic to me. I mean, again, that's I came in with Ron again. That kid. When I got the Hulk 309, I also got Amazing Spider-Man 260. That classic cover of the Hobgoblin punching Spider-Man through a window while Harry Osborn's ducking for cover.
Yep.
That classic cover, and that made me a Friends fan for life. That issue, I'm like, that's it. This guy is awesome.
Well, and then when he did Superman, Joe Rubinstein inked some of that. I have a page from one of those issues. That Joe, I love Joe's inks. And what was it? Ron and Brett. Oh, Brett inking Dan Jurgens on Superman was just, I have a page of that stuff too that I bought because I like Superman. I like Dan's work, but the inks that Brett did were just like,
Yeah, they do good work together, but for me, I personally prefer Art to Bear inking Jurgens more.
Yeah. Art stuff was real nice over it. Yeah. Well, he really gave a nice snap to it. He gave a nice finish style to it. So, but yeah, so this is cool, man. Thank you very much. I will be, I kind of delegate my Friday and Saturday nights to looking through comics and stuff, because during the week with, streaming and then like Wednesday night, Thursday night, I don't do any streaming, but I have to go to bed early because my daughter works these weird hours. So I have to at like 1:30 to take her to work. So I go to bed super early, so I don't really get any time to just chill out and read stuff. But before I share your comic art fans.
Well, here we got Marcus Killigrew saying Sal inked a lot of Ron Friends, and he did. He inked them on Spider-Girl. Yes, he did. Yeah.
Sal inked one issue of World's Finest over Graham Nolan. And I'm just so jealous because I'm like, even at the end of Sal's career, I would have been like, oh, you want to ink something? No problem. I was lucky enough to have Tom Palmer ink 11-page Captain America thing over me that was for the first Avenger movie. And, that was obviously towards the end of Tom's career. It wasn't peak Tom, but it was awesome.
Inked by a legend. I mean,
Yeah. And I got those pages. I'm not, he got his and I got mine, but I got mine. So this week, Superman, Spider-Man, the Marvel one, Facsimile came out, the one by Buscema, John, and sent it. And I didn't know until I went to the comic shop because I have the original, Treasury, and I've got the reprint from 95 or whatever that's just comic size. So I definitely got this Facsimile just like I got the Ross Andrew one a few weeks back. But on this one, on the Ross Andrew one, they had Alex Ross do a painted cover.
Yeah.
I did not know until I went to the shop. I don't know if you know this. Brian Boland did a variant cover.
No way.
And that's the one I bought because I was like, well, I've already got the John Buscema original, so I got the Brian Boland variant.
Wow.
I know, right? So, he stuck to it.
Just that machinery in the background alone is just that is insane.
Yeah, he really did stick to the layout. If I honestly, and I love Brian, and I hope I'm doing work this good when I'm his age, any beef with this I have is the fact that Superman's the same size as Spider-Man. That's my only beef. So, other than that.
Yeah, but yeah, that's, like I said, but of course that's balling. That's what he's known for.
Yeah. God, I just love that. Love that Superman. Oh, you know what? While we've got people watching, a little trivia. I don't know if it's trivia. Trivia would be if I knew the answer. I don't know the answer to what I'm about to ask. So maybe you do, James. Maybe Marcus does. So in this, I've always wondered this. On the inside front cover, they do a quick recap of Spider-Man's origin and Superman's. However, let's see. That is not John Buscema.
No.
I don't know who did that. Like Spider-Man, that bottom pose almost looks like Frank Miller. But then that Superman is definitely inked by Joe Sinnott. And I don't know. A part of me wants to say Rich Buckler, maybe?
Could be Buckler, could be Ross Andrew.
I was thinking, I mean, it could be Ross, but neither one of those is John.
No.
Always wondered who the hell drew those.
That is definitely not Big John. That much is certain, yes.
Yeah. So, but man, I tell you, this just brings back, and you know, I didn't buy the original when it came out. I got it in the 80s. But, God, that Superman. I remember seeing that thinking, man, if John was over at DC, because you know, there was a time where they tried to get John to go over to DC in the 70s when Jeanette Kahn came on. And basically, John was having no luck getting a hold of Stan about getting his contract or whatever renewed. So either he called DC or DC found out and contacted him, and he was about to do it. And then Stan came through, and he stayed at Marvel. But just imagine if you went to DC and seen him like swap with Kurt Swan on Superman or any of that stuff.
I don't know. I think I'm not sure if John would have necessarily been happier with that because as we all know, he was never really a big fan of superheroes. If all he had to do was draw Thor, Conan, and Weird World, he'd have been like a pig in slop. He'd just been happy with that, and that's all. And it's like none of those are really your superhero type stuff. Yet he done it so well. His FF run, his Spider-Man stuff, his Avengers stuff, all great stuff. So he did it all well. But yet he was not a real big fan of the superheroes, and I don't think he would have been too happy with DC that trying to draw on Superman and Batman and Wonder Woman. I don't think it would have been his shtick.
Yeah, well, think about it though. In the 70s at DC, John doing a Swamp Thing, he could have done Claw.
Claw the Unconquered, yes.
Yeah, he could have done Claw. They had a bunch of other stuff. I mean, hell, he might have been cool doing some of the horror stuff they did. You never know.
It would be interesting to see John Buscema doing horror.
Yeah. I mean, when was
stuff at Marvel?
I think the Western stuff DC did was probably early 70s before this even came about. So that stuff was probably gone at that time.
Now you got me thinking of John Buscema, Jonah Hex. That would be awesome. That would be awesome.
Yeah. So, well, let's, I'm going to share the screen so we can see some of your stuff here. Starting off with
there it is.
Page. That is freaking nice. The thing I like about Joe Giella is he's definitely more of he does feathering and stuff, but if you just look at it this size, he's more white and black, not a lot of crosshatching gray tones.
It's very bold. Yes, very bold lines. Yes, and deep opaque shadows. I mean, like there is no gradations in any of those blacks. It's like so opaque. You can't see through that for nothing.
Yep. And that's what I like about Joe's inking. Well, and once again, his inking was strong. If Joe inked something back then, you could definitely tell. Oh yeah, DC had Tarzan in the 70s.
If you click on the image, we can big it up a little more. You can see a larger image if you click on it.
Oh, Randy Howe, by the way, says the database says the inside front cover is pencils Frank Miller, inks Joe Rubinstein, Bob Wyacek. That's probably true for the Spider-Man, but that Superman's definitely inked by Joe Sinnott, and it's not Frank Miller. I tend to lean with you and say maybe Ross Andrew.
Yeah, but if you can scroll down now, look at that hand of Superman right there, the hand. So you can see he's got the bold blacks, but he can get in nice little fine line work as well. That's what Joe could do. I mean, he's well known for his deep, rich blacks, but he can do the fine line stuff too, as you can see right there on that hand.
Oh yeah, definitely. I'm just saying that, like, if you look at like a Frank McLaughlin page, it's more illustrative
Yeah.
because it has more pen work, fine line stuff. You know, it's kind of like Vinnie Coletta over Jack Kirby. It's more illustrative looking,
Yes.
whereas Joe Sinnott over Jack Kirby is more bold like this. You know, but yeah, dude, that is this just 11 by 17 or is it bigger?
Just 11 by 17. It's not 2 up. Nope.
Okay.
And that's one of the oldest pieces I own, in fact.
Oh, cool. Well, you know your gallery better than I do, and we can't go through it all. Are there any specific ones you can think of?
Well, another one that may interest you is the Dave Cockrum piece that I have.
All right, hold on. Let's go. Oh, what is this? Is this
This is from Creepy.
Oh, nice.
This is the oldest piece of comic art I currently own from 1971.
Oh, wow.
It's a story about a werewolf who gets staked, and then when he gets reawakened here, he becomes a vampire. The story is called A Change of Identity, and this is all Cockrum himself. There is no one else. It's all in grease pencil. There is not a drop of ink on the page. It's all pencil.
Well, wait, what about the real dark black? That's not ink?
That's not ink. It is. I've looked.
Really?
It is all pencil. It is pencil and grease pencil. Okay, otherwise known as like a black colored pencil.
Oh yeah, no, I know.
That's what this is. That's how he gets all that salt, like on the hand there, and on the body shot down in the lower left corner. All that nice soft peppery shading on the hand and on the arms. That's coming from the grease pencil. Yes, it's all in pencil, complete pencil work.
Wow.
And
I just thought he inked it, and instead of doing feathering, he used the grease pencil to do the gray tones out of the ink. But wow.
no, it's all
So
pencil.
is this before he did like the DC stuff?
Oh yes, this is only his 5th published work.
Oh, okay.
So
Wow.
this is like very early in his career. This is like one of the gems of my collection to have a piece by an artist like that that's so early in their career. And the style he would go on to later know for like the X-Men and stuff that everybody knows him for. I actually like this style better. I think this is just a better. It's got more, like more verve in it. I guess maybe since he was younger, he was hungry, he was trying to prove himself, and so he was taking chances, doing things that maybe he didn't do later, that he didn't feel he had to show off anymore. But I really love this style. I mean, the blood. Look at the blood with the stake. I mean, that's just that is excellent stuff.
I think part of it too is, from an artist's side, if I was hired, and I would say I can't think for Dave, but I could also think maybe he was like, oh, I got hired by Creepy. It's probably a magazine he read anyhow, so he knew it was black and white, which means everybody doing Creepy was doing gray tone stuff. So he might have been like, I'm definitely, instead of just doing standard ink with feathering, I'm going to do something really cool with grease pencil and stuff, And then when he did transition and, start working for DC and Marvel, it could have just been, DC first. It could have just been one of those things where it's like, okay, well, we pencil and ink stuff here. So, do it that way. And then, because I know he did ink some of his stuff. I think when he started at DC, didn't Murphy Anderson ink his first stuff?
I think so. I'm recalling correctly.
And then I think he did ink his own stuff. So I don't know. That's kind of how I look at it. And there's also, like you said, this being a young gun and stuff going, yeah, I want to, it's his 5th job. I want to impress. And I'm sure Archie Goodwin, was Archie the editor at the time over there? Or
I believe he was, yes.
Yeah. So I'm sure it was, impress Archie and all that stuff. So that's freaking cool. How big is this one? 11 by 17?
No, this is a large piece of art. I think it's 13 by 19.
Okay. That's cool.
A large piece.
That's some nice lettering too. Any idea who did it?
No,
they didn't get credit back then.
Don't have that offhand, that knowledge. I've always said for colorists and letterers, they're doing good work when you don't know who they are. That's how you know they're doing a good job. If you know who they are, it's because they're probably doing something wrong, and that's why you know who they are.
It's 100%. It's one of those. It's unsung because if you can read a comic and not really notice the lettering and the coloring, they did a good job. But if you're just, and what I mean is not a professional reading it, but just whoever buys it off the stands. If the 15-year-old kid doesn't know why and can't really explain it, but just like subconsciously it's slowing down their reading because it's so bad.
Yeah.
That, it's bad. Like, it's funny. I just got, we had Bill Reinhold as one of our first guests a few years ago on the show. And Bill mentioned his first job was Scary Tales 37 for Charlton. And he wrote it, first job in comics. They let him write it, pencil, ink, and letter it, right? So the only thing he didn't do was color it. And I was like, I got to get this. I love getting people I know first jobs. So I finally got it a few months ago because I was always looking at conventions for it. So I was like, it can't be that hard. After like 2.5, 3 years, I was like, forget it. Found it on eBay, got it. And I'm sure Bill would agree. The lettering is awful. It is so small and cramped together that even though, I paid like $1.99 for it. So it's a pretty beat up copy and it's newsprint and it's, it's from 82 or something. So, age has something to do with it being hard to read too, but just in general, it's just not good lettering.
No.
So.
And like I said, that's how I always, whenever you think about a letter or colorist, it's always because of what they don't do well. It's never like because they're so great at what when they're great at what they do, you don't even notice them.
Right. Yeah, that's a great Dave page. Oh, hold on, Kyle Baker. What do you got from him?
Well, this is one he inked.
Yeah, but dude, his inks over Mike Harris. It's cool.
Yeah, this is my Web of Spider-Man page that features the first appearance of my favorite Z-list villain, Chance. I love Chance, the character. I love that character. He just
I just love these inks.
A mercenary who gambles his pay. He's like bets you, like if you hire him on, and he said, I'll bet you double or nothing. If I accomplish the mission, you pay me double. If I don't, I don't get paid at all. He's a compulsive gambler and he's a mercenary. I thought that was a great concept for a character.
Nice. These inks are just like, I like Mike Harris's work. Mike Harris did a one-shot square-bound Punisher story.
The Prize.
Yes. I love that job because
Yeah.
he inked it himself.
He did.
It is so nice. Yeah, that's one of the ones I have on my bookshelf next to my desk. It's so freaking nice. And this Kyle Baker, like, if you just showed this to me, I would actually assume Mike probably inked it himself because it really does have the same feel of Mike when he inks his own work.
Well, if you want to, you can get out of this one real quick. I have a piece by Mike that is all Mike.
Oh, okay. Hold on.
And it's probably one of the crown jewels of my collection.
Yep. Let's see. Why does the comic art fans have this in alphabetical order?
They alphabetize it by last name.
Oh, it goes across. It doesn't go down.
Yeah, it goes across.
Oh, okay. There it is. But you got a couple. So it's this one.
This is all Mike.
Was this a cover? What was this? Or a pinup?
There's a story behind this when I got this from him. He told me. Originally, this was meant to be a cover, but it didn't get used that way. It ended up being used as a pinup in Web of Spider-Man Annual for a year in review section they had in the back with all these pinups.
Oh, wow.
And this was used in the pinup section for Kraven's Last Hunt because, you got flowers and Spider-Man looking dead.
Yeah.
That was the whole point. But what it is he goes, what it actually was is those roses are to represent the rose from the Gang War storyline in Amazing Spider-Man. So I'm thinking this was originally going to be the cover to Amazing Spider-Man 286. He says, and the editor at the time, he was all excited about it because as you can see the graphic design he used.
Yeah.
Mike is a fan of Alphonse Mucha.
Yep.
And he said, so that's why he did this like sort of like design, this Art Nouveau design in the image. He goes, and the editor was all excited about it, and then it never got used. And he said it probably got put in a drawer someplace and forgotten about, and then somebody was digging out stuff, trying to find stuff for that annual, and said, "Hey, let's use this," and that's how it ended up getting used. But it was originally going to be a cover. And
Wow.
Mike said it's probably, like, in his mind, one of the best pieces he ever did is this one right here. And so I remember that annual, and I remember this image. There were two images in that section that burned into my head. First was this one, and then the other one was the McFarlane piece that was in there. And
Okay.
So I mean, when I saw that he had this, I'm like, oh, I gotta get this. I gotta own this, because this just burned into my 14-year-old head.
Yeah.
When I saw it, and I'm like, I gotta get this. And so there it is, the classic image by Mike Harris, one of the best he's ever done.
Yeah, that's awesome. It has a very and they're contemporary, so it's not saying he was influenced by, but it's very Mark Beecham from that time period.
Yep, I can see Mark Beecham in there. I can see a little bit of that stuff. But yeah, it's definitely one of my crown jewels.
Oh yeah.
And see, and then there's the colored version.
Yeah,
how it's in the book.
that's nice.
Almost a cover, but not quite.
Oh, that stinks. Yeah, that's freaking sweet.
My other crown jewel, of course, is my McFarlane piece that I actually do own a piece of McFarlane art. Which is hard to do today, unless you're a 2%er.
How long have you had it for?
I've had this one since 2017, I think, or 2018.
Oh, okay.
This is from Hulk 343.
Nice.
They get the Hulk in there. I mean, you see those hands, you know
yeah.
what it is. But this is special to me because it's pure McFarlane. Most of Todd's Hulk run is inked by other people. There was only a handful of issues he did himself, and this is one of them. And so I feel very privileged to have a page that is 100% McFarlane art.
No, a friend of mine, Jim Sanders, inked Todd.
Yep.
And Todd loved it, but Jim, this just kills me to this day, because I shared a studio with Jim and John Beatty in the early 90s in Florida. And Jim was telling us the story. And because Jim was kind of he just wasn't good with deadlines. And that's what screwed him. Because Todd liked what Jim did a lot. And then, he just kind of screwed himself on it, unfortunately.
My first exposure to Todd's work was on the Hulk. It was issue 338. I bought it off a spinner rack in a magazine shop, and that was inked by Jim Sanders.
It's not the X Factor, or the one that has X Factor?
It's the one right after the X Factor storyline.
Okay.
It introduces a alien character known as Mercy, who when people think about killing themselves, she helps them along.
Oh, damn, nice. I cannot believe they haven't done a facsimile edition yet of the famous Wolverine cover of the Hulk.
Hulk 340. Yeah. Well, I mean, that is probably one of the most aped covers in comic book history. I mean, I know. Similar, I mean, they've done it with all different characters and stuff, and just so many people have used that image.
I agree 100%. I'm just, when I see facsimile editions come out from that time period, and I'm like, what the hell are you guys waiting for? Even like last year with Deadpool Wolverine, that would have been perfect timing, because there was the one shot where they ripped the cover, with Wolverine holding up the claws. You seen the Hulk's reflection. Yep. I'm like, because that book, it's stupid to me that book is so expensive just because of that,
Well, I mean, it's the Hulk versus Wolverine. I mean, who isn't going to want that?
I know, but it's, I don't own it, but I'd like to. But I'm just crossing my fingers they do that facsimile one day. Didn't Peter David get that Hulk Wolverine cover original art?
I don't know.
I don't know.
But I do know now it's owned by somebody else. It's actually on Comic Art Fan. Somebody actually owns that cover.
Oh, wow.
So that's like crazy to me. It's like, wow, someone actually owns the original cover. I was like, man, that's your big fish.
Yeah. Let's see.
Oh, this is one of my favorite artists. Oh, there you go. I think you'll like this one, Andy. There you go.
Oh yeah,
a little Ron Garney action.
Oh yeah, Chris Ivy. That's a good team. Yeah, that's cool.
Third appearance of Vengeance.
Oh, nice. Yeah, that's nice.
This is what the double page splash was made for an image just like this.
Oh yeah, man. I got a X-Men page by Garney that has a big shot of a big full figure Magneto on it. And then I have one of the Captain America pages. I inked over them still. And I got rid of the rest. But I mean, I only had, I think, 3. So I sold 2 and kept 1. But yeah, that's nice. That's real cool.
You know, so to me, nothing screams 90s comics more than this right here. I mean, the extreme of 90s right here. It's like that's what the 90s was all about, was being more extreme. And what's more extreme than a darker version of Ghost Rider?
Dude, I love the 90s so much. I love all that stuff. Holy shit, this is inked by my friend Brad Venkata, who I also shared a studio with in the early 90s because he was in Florida. Inked this. That's awesome.
This, by the way, is also the very first issue Ron did for Ghost Rider, his little Ghost Rider run that he had. This is the very first issue of his on Ghost Rider.
Is it? I'm going to actually go out and I'm going to put it. I have that CLZ app on my phone for tracking my collection. Of course, I'm lazy. I only have probably a quarter of my collection in it because it's just tedious. But whenever I see a book I want, I always put it on the wish list. So this bad boy's gone on the wish list just because it's Ron and then my friend Brad inked the cover over Ron. So that's so cool. Because the issues before this, who was doing it?
Brett Blevins.
And then before Brett, did Brett come on after Andy Kubert did his few issues?
Yes.
Okay. Where the heck is Ghost Rider in here? Here it is. Oh, yeah. That's good stuff. Yeah, because I think Andy's last issue was 31.
Yeah, he did 28 to 31. Yes. Which was
so
like that Midnight Sun storyline that begins all the Midnight Sun stuff. Was that?
Yep. Add to wish list. Done. Well, one last thing. I'm going to stop sharing this because I want to show one more thing before I go. We have somebody over doing some drywall stuff, and I got to catch him before he leaves. 1 second. So I'm picking up some Hawk annuals that I used to have, but I don't anymore. And one of the ones I got, one was, the Abomination versus the Hawk by Sal. Because I thought I used to have it. You do purges and then you kick yourself and get stuff, whatever. And when I was looking at the comic shop, they had it. And I'm like, oh, cool. And then I came across this one, right? And this one, I'm going to do the big thing on again so it's easier to see. The reason I picked this one up is because my friend Brad inked it over Kirk Jarvinen. And this is when we were sharing a studio. So it was myself, Jim Sanders, Brad Venkata, and John Beatty. And I remember Brad inking it. So I was like, oh, I got to get that because somehow I don't have it for some reason. Yeah, Joe inked Andy on some of that Ghost Rider stuff.
Yes, Joe did ink Andy on those Ghost Rider issues.
So I open it up, and the first story, because this is, this has a few stories in it, but the main story is the one that my friend Brad inked over Kirk. And then Brad went on to ink Kirk over at DC on Aquaman, Time and Tide, and whatnot. But I totally forgot about this. Talk about like small world layouts. So Kirk Jarvinen did the pencils. Brad Venkata, my pal, did the inks. But somebody else did the layouts because I guess they didn't, it was one of Kirk's first jobs. So they had somebody do the layouts for the storytelling. Dan Lawless. Talk about a small world.
Yeah.
Dan Lawless on layouts. So I know all the creators on this book. And it's so funny because even though Kirk drew it, that face is more Dan Lawless to me than Kirk Jarvinen.
Yeah.
But I can totally see Brad Zinks. Now that figure, I can see a little bit of Dan in like the profile of the head, but the body I can see a lot of Kirk in. So, but I can definitely tell they're Dan's layouts too. So I was just like, oh my God, that's hilarious. So, and in this, they don't say who did what. It's just credited to Kirk and Dan. And I can see Dan in the Hulk, but I can also see some of Kirk. So I don't know if like maybe Dan laid it out and inked it over Kirk. You know, Dan laid it out.
Maybe I'm thinking like maybe breakdown pencils by Dan with finishes by Kirk.
No, I don't know because Kirk never really inked his own stuff. So that's why part of me thinks maybe Dan laid it out, Kirk penciled it, and then Dan inked it. So now, obviously,
well, Dan
didn't ink
a lot of his own stuff either. If you know his history, I mean, you know his biggest thing was the time he had Kevin Nolan ink him on an issue of Strange Tales. That was like he loves that. He's like, oh, I want this guy inking me all the time.
Dude, that was one of his first jobs. How do you have a first job where you get kept? It's like Joe Quesada. One of his first jobs was at Azrael, and freaking Kevin Nolan inks him.
If you want to quickly go back to my comic art fans, Andy, I have a page from that.
Oh, I saw it.
I have a page of the Sword of Azrael by Quesada and Nowlin.
Hold on. All right, let me bounce back to it real quick. There we go. Okay, let's see. I assume it's under Quesada.
Of course.
Or Kevin Nolan too, right?
Yeah, I've got both of them listed, yes. But
okay.
Quesada will probably bring it up quicker because his name is so distinct.
Oh, I got it. All right, let me share my screen. Here we go.
There you go.
Yeah.
Now it focuses on the villain of the piece, Biss. But like right down there in the corner there, you got the close-up of Batman's face. And then you go up to the top of the page in silhouette. You have Jean-Paul Valley.
Nice.
Right there in silhouette. So you got all the main characters on a single page. And the thing I like about this page most is the whole way they do the hymn of Biss gearing up.
Yeah.
And it reminds me like the Rambo scene in First Blood Part 2 when he's getting ready to go out and do some damage. That's what I like about the page. So I'm like, this reminds me of that very much.
Yeah, dude, I remember buying this off the shelf and I still have my copy from back then, just going, holy crap, because I knew who Kevin Nolan was. And I was like, this stuff is awesome. And I mean, you can see Joe, like, you can tell that's a Joe face.
Well, but this is what launched Quesada into superstardom was this miniseries.
Yeah, and people might disagree, but I really do think it's because of it. A lot of it is because of Kevin's inks too.
Oh, definitely.
Because, you know, you look at like the Ray was after this, right?
No, the Ray was before this.
The Ray was before. Oh, I thought the Ray was after.
No, the Ray was before Sword of Azrael.
Oh, okay. What was after this?
Trying to think. What did come?
Did he go to Marvel and start X Factor, or?
No, I think there was something else. Because I think what it was like he did stuff like he did like The Question quarterly. And then he did the Ray miniseries, and then he did Sword of Azrael. I know he did some stuff with the Batman during Nightfall, because he did the variant cover for Batman 500 with Azrael Batman.
Oh, yeah.
So he did that. And then, I think then he went over to Marvel, and he also started his own thing with Ash.
Right. Yeah, no, this stuff, look, I'll be honest, that X Factor stuff, that is like my time period for Joe Quesada. I love that stuff. the exaggeration in it and stuff. I just freaking
Yeah.
love that stuff. So, but we're going to have to wrap this up. But before we do, guys, go check out Lilineth Infernal Conflict on Indiegogo, on Kickstarter. Randy posted 4 backers away on Kickstarter from 100. 4 people, go get that Billy Tucci Dan Lawless cover, only on Kickstarter. You will love it. You will love Lilineth Infernal Conflict. 6 copies left of the retro edition, which is going to be printed on newsprint, colored in the flatter style. So it just takes you back to that glory day of comics. It has its own cover on the book as well. And it's limited to 100 copies, signed and numbered. So go get that or pick whatever you want. Lots of great stuff. Individual covers. The collector's box gets you everything. Saves you $30. So go check it out. Links are in the description below. James, once again, thank you so much. I'm reading this tonight.
Reading good health.
Hang back after we end it. And goodbye, everybody. Thank you for joining, and we'll see you guys later.
Peace out.
Bye-bye, y'all.